Hello, guys. Welcome to today's Project Spotlight session. Today we are joined by the Scalus team. Um, Scalus is Web3. Scalus is a professional Cardano smart contracts and DApps development platform for Scala 3 developers. And with me, we have Alexi and Alexander, who are going to take us through and tell us what it's all about.
Yeah.
So, guys,
Hey,
how are you guys?
Yeah, very
good.
good. Happy to be here.
Yep.
Finally to
Nice
join
to see you guys.
the Intersect session.
I'm happy to have you guys here. So I have a couple of questions for you guys. Can you first of all start like with a small introduction of yourself, your backgrounds, and your roles in the project?
Yeah, I think I'll start. My name is Alex or Alexander Nemish, and I'm in Cardano since 2019, probably 18. I don't remember right now. And I've been interested in cryptocurrencies in general for many years. And basically, since Charles' whiteboard video, I saw Cardano as a next generation blockchain, and I joined IUG in 2019 and worked on Marlow programming language. I'm a compiler engineer, so I know these things, how to do this kind of things. And later I founded a company called Lantern, and we are working on Scalus. And I invited my old friend Alexi to join this venture, and I participate in the role of CTO of the company, and he's CEO of the company.
Yeah. So I wanted as well to start with a small outline that we're part of Lantern Engineering company and small group of engineers. We're 6. And we are building Scalus development platform among other products. And we actually position ourselves as a product development company. And that comes from our previous experience in enterprise setting and in product development organizations. I'm an engineer as well, but I let Alex be the flagman of our team, the leader. When it comes to technical aspects, my strongest points are scaling organizations. I was a part of a couple of startups and scale-ups here in Europe that I helped scaling. And I also have background in product leadership. So for Scalus, I'm a product lead, and together with Alex, we are shaping the vision and the future of the product.
Okay, you guys seem like you're cut out for the job. So, what would you, in your own words, what would you say Scalus is?
Scalus is a application platform for developing the apps for Cardano and potentially beyond. We started it as a smart contract language and extended it for off-chain code and basically a full stack development platform using single framework essentially and single programming language, although not limited to.
Okay.
Yeah, today it's a development environment for smart contracts and complex protocols, and our vision is to expand it into full-blown application platform that has as the goal to help product team like ours create and kickstart and launch Web3 applications on Cardano, and as Alex said, maybe on other blockchains as well. So the vision is quite ambitious, and we are gradually, progressively moving towards this together.
In simple term, the vision is you have a platform when you can start from a starter or an example, and you can immediately start developing it very fast because you have very fast development cycle. Because you run tests, like an integration test, essentially in milliseconds using our node emulator, and JVM platform in general is quite fast. And you use the same thing to develop and to run your application and scale it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe another thing to mention, we are building on JVM stack, and I think it's valuable to mention that we here in Cardano building the financial products, right? And the majority of the applications that would propel Cardano into the bright future are DeFi products, right? And we do not speak about this a lot, but in the Web2 world, enterprise world, when you speak about financial application, like in the sectors of finance or on fintech, you like 95% of the time you speak about JVM platform. So Java, Scala, Kotlin. And previously we had experience working in the big organizations. Alex was working in Deutsche Bank and other banks, where languages like Java and Scala is just the default.
Okay.
When we were starting on Cardano, we saw the gap here. Basically, the JVM ecosystem was underdeveloped. There were, of course, some tools that were done by Cardano Foundation, and but we the experience that we had previously in enterprise setting, where you basically use some sort of a platform like AKA, Akka,
or Spring Boot or Spring Framework,
or on Kotlin. It's the application, it's the platforms which contain like everything you need to build the systems or solutions. And what we have noticed on Cardano is that the multitude of different tools, libraries, languages, and everything is kind of a bit dispersed. So when the engineers have to start building something, they actually need to assemble so many pieces in order to do the basic stuff. So, for example, to write a smart contract, you need to pick like out of 5 languages. Then, if you want to do testing, you are quite limited. So you start to write off-chain code, and like through off-chain code you start to test. So it for us as people who are acquainted with enterprise setting, it's quite new, because we got used to something where you have the platform and you have
everything out of box
inside. So you start writing, you have tools for testing, for debugging, for deployment, for profiling, for integrating. Everything is inside, and you have it in your hands. So this is the idea that we have behind Scalus as a development environment. So today it's an environment where you can build a full stack protocol or complex application, smart contracts. Maybe I will share here the screen to show.
Okay.
You can build smart. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
You can build smart contracts. You have already pre-built advanced data structures. You have design patterns integrated, so you can reuse them straight from the platform. Then you go to off-chain code. You can instantly build transactions, scenarios, chaining. You have all the things necessary to do that. And in parallel, you're looping in the testing cycle. So you have all what is needed, like unit test, property test, scenario testing, boundary testing. So you, on one side, have this full stack of components that you need, but also we cover the whole development cycle. So starting from the development into testing, into profiling, debugging. So we have all those tools available, and then you have as well the emulator, node emulator, so you can run it in background. We have a DevNet integration with Yasi DevKit, and we have a tool set to build the test data, and also to deploy the smart contracts and protocols to production. So basically, like if you think about development environment, you have everything you need already in this platform. So it's what exists today. What we are aiming to build in our ambitious future, we want to have a L1 node integrated into the platform. We want to have L2 solution in there. And we want to have a framework for building application that it's easy to listen to events or funnel the data like from the node into your internal system. So basically, you can imagine it as a one tool which will allow you not only build something, but also launch it on testnet, move it to production, and scale with L2. So it's our vision. And this year, we submitted the first proposal trying to approach this vision, and got the feedback from the D reps that they want something more focused, gradual steps towards this vision. So we'll resubmit with something like less ambitious, but like going into this direction. So yeah, this is enterprise experience that we want to bring, and as well we're waiting for promised enterprise reach into Cardano, where those tools would be just a default request from the financial and fintech
Absolutely.
Companies and organizations.
Okay. So just to like put it all together. So you'd say like the problem you guys were trying to solve was the fragmentation of tools in Cardano and the lack of the JVM stack. Primarily.
Yes. We're actually fighting, like we ourselves are product developers, so we are using our tools to build products.
Okay.
And what we value in our development life is actually productivity. So in the background, all of this, how we approach it, like the drive is how we can actually be much more productive while building on Cardano. How we can accelerate the path from I have nothing into I'm launching the testnet. How we can accelerate time to market. Thing. So this is something that drives us on the background, and how we approach it by created an integrated solution and supporting JVM ecosystem with this tooling, because this is a default in JVM world. It's a default request for enterprises.
Exactly.
Okay. But why did you guys choose Cardano in specific? Why Cardano?
Cardano, it's I consider it to be the ideologically and technically, I still consider it to be the best blockchain. It has Nakamoto consensus, so we have 51% honest parties instead of 67. So it's much more robust in consensus terms. It is proof of stake, so we don't burn electricity. It has smart contracts, obviously. It's UTXO based, which is slightly harder to develop for, but like technologically, it's more scalable architecture. And basically, what we are waiting for or lacking currently is the throughput and latency, which are solvable with things like layers and pairs. And otherwise, it's very, very, very strong blockchain. Its foundation is very strong. It's super decentralized. It's very robust. It works like a charm for many years. Yeah, and we'll develop L2s, and we are developing L2s to solve the speed thing. And yeah, it's a great blockchain.
Maybe to add one thing, like more from a business perspective, what we are. So Alex said that we're working on interoperability solutions and on scalability solution, as we consider it something that is genuinely missing in the as a primitives on Cardano. But our end goal is to build financial products, and we're working on one solution like in parallel. Right now we cannot speak about it, but it's in details. And we see and we're very enthusiastic about what Cardano integration are offering. So all the critical integration from last year, and I hope that this year integration will pass as well, so that Cardano will be much more connected with the surrounding Web3 world. Notably speaking about layer 0, wormhole, different integration custody solutions, stable coins and stuff. We see this year as a fundamental year for those integrations, so that Cardano can start to shine even more, not only from a technological perspective, but also from the business perspective. And that's the reason why we stay in the ecosystem.
Okay, are you guys comfortable talking about the layer 2 right now, or is still in the works?
About what?
Sorry?
Are you guys comfortable talking about the layer 2 you're working on, or it's still in the works?
Yeah, we can L2 layer 2 solution. Yeah, we can talk about it. So essentially, there is a layer 2 solution being developed right now called Hydrozoa, which is a protocol developed by originally George Swiderowski, and it's a improvement over Hydra state channel protocols. It's significantly simplified, and a lot of restrictions of Hydra removed. And the team, his team chose Scalus as a platform for development of this L2. And now they actually cooperate with Sunday Labs with Pi to develop based on Hydrozoa. They develop Gummy Worm, which is a continuation of Hydra, even more decentralized layer 2 solution. And obviously they continue using Scalus for this development. And I think they are aiming launch in mid of this year, right? In a couple of months.
Yeah.
And we're helping them.
They recently published the white paper, and during the Builder Fest in Argentina, Pi had presented the first application, which is built on Hydrozoa. On Hydrozoa plus Gummy Worm. Now it's called Gummy Worm. So we are actively supporting them with advice, but also code review with some help. And we also have our own L2 solution, Cosmix, and if Alex wants to speak about it.
Yeah, we have like a innovative view of a semi-centralized order book exchange called Cosmix. It's like Hydra, in a sense. It's off-chain and it's very fast, but instead of having one head and multiple clients, we have like pairs of clients. So if each trader essentially has his own connection to a centralized server, but the design is that the centralized server cannot steal your money, essentially. So you can always dispute, and you can always get what you traded. Essentially, you can always get your tokens.
Yeah.
It's still in development.
And I also follow Midgard development. At some point of time, we were very deeply, like I think maybe if we take 20 developers who know the protocol the best, I think we are part of this group as well.
Exactly.
So we studied it, and we had a lot of conversation with Sarah and George Filorovsky, etc.
Okay, that's good to hear. So what kind of developers naturally gravitate towards Scalus? Who is it built for mostly?
I think one of the misconceptions that we have in ecosystem about Scalus is that it somehow competes with Aiken or other programming languages. Scalus is much more than just programming language for building smart contracts. It's actually the integrated development platform, which is particularly well suited for complex protocol and mission critical application development. Notably speaking about something like bridges, L2 solutions, complex DeFi protocols and stuff. And why I'm speaking about those, because usually they require more than 5-10 smart contracts. It requires an extensive testing. It requires scenarios which goes beyond just verify that this or that path works. So simulation of scenarios, creating the situations where there are where the forks of the we're providing the tooling which is well suited for this type of solutions. And usually the engineers who are looking for those type of solutions are senior engineers. So we are running the community called Scalus Club, which is a community of 20, 30 experienced Cardano engineers who join us on monthly, every one and a half month, to speak about various topics, to share experiences and stuff. And it's the majority of the cases senior engineers. So kind of experienced Cardano developers, experienced architects who want to leverage the productivity that they gain through development of the platform. So solutions that they are building, usually it's multi-year protocols development. So for example, Hydrazo is in development for already like more than 8 months, I think. And the productivity gain at this scale is very noticeable. So if we're speaking about 1 or 2 weeks of development, maybe you will not notice that much, but still. But when you are speaking about multi-month development in the team of 3-5 developers, you would particularly notice this type of acceleration that you are gaining. And also we're using Scala as our base language, and Scala offers multitude of solutions from Scala ecosystem, but also from JVM ecosystem. So while building any type of application, you can just install the solution that exists already, reuse things that are available in just in general in JVM. That also contributes to the acceleration. So yeah, to answer your question shortly, I think our target group is senior engineers, protocol developers, architects, and teams that are building mission critical and complex application. We at times joke that when people ask us what would recommend to use on Cardano when they are starting working on this or that solution, if we see that it's something that involves development maybe of 1 or 2 smart contracts, we usually recommend Aiken because it's easy to start for this type of complexity. It's more than enough. But when we're speaking about something very complex, I think Scalus is out of all solutions that exist in Cardano. I think I can say that it's it has this kind of sweet spot between having everything that you need to build those solutions, but also have this ergonomy of very pleasant, like Python style language, which you can easily learn. Like I will give you like a small anecdote. The team that is building Hydrozoa, they were Haskell developers. They never knew Scala, and they like from the moment then they decided to try it out to the moment when they started to build it, I think it was like three weeks. And since then they said they never will come back to to Haskell if you are speaking about like the wall experience. I'm not speaking about Haskell per se itself.
It's a great language. It's a great language, but it has its own difficulties in the dev experience regards. So they basically, like as Haskell developers, they would like to see functional programming language with like familiar things, concepts, and Scala offers this, but in the JVM environment, when you have all the libraries in the world, and it works fast and reliable, and it's been used in enterprises for decades.
Okay, you guys are about to convince me to switch.
You can at least try, and we'll be happy. So maybe like one thing to say just before we move forward is that what we ensure, because every time when somebody who wants to build with Scalus to build something complex like a protocol or solution, we know that in order to succeed, they need a little bit of help to set things well, even though examples exist and stuff. So what we do, we dedicate part of our time to support the teams who start building the Scalus. So if you are a person who wants to build something like this, come speak with us and tell us about your idea, and we'll tell you, like, we'll help with how to set things up and how to leverage Scalus platform to be productive and succeed. So we are dedicating time working, like doing code reviews, suggesting the solutions, guiding the teams who want to succeed with Scalus.
Yes.
Okay, I think you answered the question I wanted to ask next, which was like how you'd approach like someone who wanted to get started, and to get you clearly, it's one code base across the entire stack, correct? Okay.
Yes. Basically, it's something very like if you imagine other solutions today, you need to have a project with Aiken, then you need to have another project with your application framework of chain code and stuff, and usually they're just sitting there as just a folder or blueprint export. When we're working in Scalus, it's usually it's all together, so you can actually reuse the logic from one component to another. Particularly useful when you are building state machines and other type of, maybe Alex, you want to speak about this?
Yeah. So like if you have a complex logic, it's usually a reasonably complex state machine on Cardano, where you essentially need to construct the new state, and the validator is going to validate this new state, and the logic is usually the same. And what usually happens in these situations, you have the state machine update function implemented in, say, Aiken, and then you have the same state machine implementation in TypeScript or Java or whatever you're writing it for. So, and it's easy to get divergences in these things, and you need to test them. Same logic, you need to test in essentially in two different languages, in two different implementations. In our case, we can reuse, and we do use it, because we use Scalus to develop a part of Bitcoin Bridge, the Bifrost. We use it to do the Bitcoin Oracle on Cardano called Binocular. And we have this large state machine that implements Bitcoin consensus logic, essentially. it parses blocks, block headers, sorry, and implements all the checks. And it's a state machine, and we reuse the same logic to construct a new transaction and to validate it. And we have the same set of tests that run the same logic as a UPLC, as on-chain code, as same as off-chain code. So we reuse essentially code because we store the same semantics on the JVM and on JavaScript and on UPLC. No, one of the things I wanted to mention is that one of the advantages we have is that Scala has a JavaScript backend, and it can compile Scala code to JVM or to JVM and to JavaScript, and it's reasonably efficient. And we leverage this technology to actually export our emulator as a JavaScript library, which other libraries also reuse. We integrated with Evolution SDK. We've got integration with Mesh.js. And recently we've got a
Lucid Evolution integrated
Evolution.
our Plutus virtual machine.
Yeah, Plutus CK machine implementation. Yes. So
basically, instead of having the WASM component with Rust, they're using pure JavaScript exported from our toolset. And for us, it's just like a button to export it
So
the JavaScript. So we have those libraries for JVM, but if we need something to be exported to JavaScript, we can do it, and we have the same code base for different targets.
Okay, so what does that mean for teams that are not using Scala? The fact that now you can export it to JavaScript or TypeScript.
For teams, that means that you essentially can reuse your logic, your off-chain logic. Usually, it's reasonably complex logic of constructing transactions for your protocol. So you can use a backend on a JVM. And you can export this as a library to be used in the UI. So you can have the purely client-side transaction construction and your protocol handling essentially in the browser from the same code.
Okay. Another question.
When you're using those tools like Mesh.js, Evolution SDK, you actually in background using the Scalus tool.
Yeah, quite often. Many people don't know this, but quite often if you use Mesh.js or Evolution, you just use Scalus, you just don't know it.
Oh yeah, I use this and I didn't know.
Same with Cardano Client Leap. If you use Cardano Client Leap, it's a JVM Java library for constructing transactions. They use Scalus Plutus VM implementation to run smart contracts and to evaluate their costs and fees in background. We have this integration as well.
Oh, that's very, very interesting. In Cardano, like the issue of script size and execution budgets is a real concern. So how does Scalus help developers stay within those limits?
Threefold essentially. So first of all, we have implemented a very, very good code generator, optimizing code generator, and we produce we produce a very good UPLC. In many cases, it's the best in class. So if I may quickly show you a few things. So there is this UPLC Cape performance report of different smart contracts and how they perform in terms of usage of memory, transaction, CPU, script size, and fees. And one of the examples, there's this HTLC benchmark, and Scalus is outperforming Plint, different versions of Plint, like significantly.
Okay.
And for optimizing for performance, we have built a profiler tool that shows you essentially what line of code, how much CPU memory or fees it consumes. So you can analyze essentially
by
line by
of
line.
code.
By line of code, yeah. It's like Scala implementation, Scalus implementation of a smart contract, and you can see which line consumes how much, and you can see, optimize it, try to different techniques to make it smaller, etc. And I think this is unique. I don't believe any other tool has this. So I find it quite cool. So you can essentially sort. You have this report. You can see what line, what validator consumes how much.
Okay, I'd have to admit that's also the coolest thing I've had so far.
Yeah.
Go
So
on,
I wanted, yeah, and also, oh, sorry, I stopped sharing. Also, I wanted to show, so because smart contracts are essentially like values in Scalus. So you can call them as a function, you can call them as UPLC, and you get the results of this execution, of this evaluation, as a object in your tests, for example. So we can have a test, and we can assert a size of the script. So we can make sure that it's not changing, for example, it's not larger than we expect. Also, we can check the budget of the text execution results. We can make sure that the particular evaluation of our smart contract is bound by a budget, for example. So we can just check it in a test. Also, we write tests essentially using transactions in our emulator. So all the tests you see, they run in like 9, 6 milliseconds, 13 milliseconds. So you can essentially run thousands of tests in seconds. And those tests are like full stack. So you construct a transaction, you run it, you construct a script context, you run it, you evaluate budgets, you check everything. So it's like full stack testing. And another cool thing is that we store semantics of Scala evaluation and UPLC evaluation. That means, and in many cases, like 5% of cases, you can just use built-in debugger. So if we run these tests with debugger, in debug mode, we can see the breakpoints. So we can set a breakpoint here, and we get these. We can see values that comes. There's a script context as data. There is a context parsed as a value. So we can inspect all the values here and run it further. We can even do things like we can select a piece of code and like evaluate this expression. So if you want to check this hash, you can just evaluate it in runtime and see the hash. So this level of debugging techniques available for like normal JVM development are available for Scalus and Cardano developers. And I don't think, any other tool has this level of debugging techniques.
Granularity.
Yeah. So it's just it's top of the iceberg essentially. But there are many more things.
This is very, very impressive. Has the compiler itself been through any kind of security review?
Maybe I can speak about it. First of all, we are very, very attentive. Like one of our values is quality and security, and especially in Web3 world, security is paramount. So, and smart contracts is the heart of the protocols in Web3. So first of all, we follow all the conformance and security standards from Plutus and from Cardano ecosystem. So our compiler is verified against the conformance testing provided through Plutus working group and maintained by IOG and other companies. Secondly, we have the integration test, which does a funny thing. So we take the blocks from the mainnet, and every day we run we run the transaction against our ledger rule implementation, but also against Plutus virtual machine, verifying that all what is executed on mainnet actually is identical to what we produce with Scalus. We also have run a private review of our compiler for security, and in this treasury funding cycle, we were deliberately provisioning the resources for the budget for security audit, which will have like a more public stance, so that it will ensure the engineers who want to build complex applications with Scalus. So we will be doing this, and also we're partnering with two companies. I cannot disclose right now because we're in negotiation. So they would provide the audit services independent from Lantern, because some companies who are building with Scalus contact us to do the security audit, but we would like to expand the network of the auditors, and we're working with two companies, known companies in the ecosystem, to offer Scalus security auditing as a part of the security offering.
Okay. So let's say I know Scala and have never touched Cardano. What would be the fastest path from zero to a deployed contract?
Probably that would be the starter kit. We have a special project called Scalus Starter. This is a full small but full DApp that allows you to produce, essentially mint tokens, construct transactions, to mint, burn those tokens. So it's a full application that has smart contracts, that has off-chain logic, that has tests, integration tests, everything in one package. So this is the simplest and straightforward best way to bootstrap your application with Scalus. Also, we have quite extensive documentation on our site, scalus.org, with examples, etc. And also as a part of, sorry?
I just want to, jump in because you were speaking about starter kit. And in the section for the app development, we have a DApp starter tutorial. It actually takes a Scalus starter and it guides you through all the steps, how you can actually, it has three objectives. First, as quickly as possible, you can run it on local DevNet. So it actually takes you, I think, 3 steps to do it. You download the thing and then just execute it. Then you have the section that helps you understand pieces. So you have a practical kind of explanations and walk through smart contract, transaction building, how it works with explanation and stuff. There are some exercises for you to do the modifications. So here on you can, make it your own section. So you there is a task and that guides you how to actually make the modification, what it means, how to test them. And the final part of the task is deployed to public testnet. So basically, by using Scalus Starter and following this guide, you will be able to run Web3 application like in minutes. Then you will be able to learn how it works, like what are the parts of it, and then make the changes, make the adaptation, and then deploy it to testnet and actually have it on testnet. So this is again, in the beginning of our conversation, I spoke about this, how to accelerate the path from zero to testnet. On the example of test on development platform, it's this. when we'll have the application platform, you'll be able to spin your node and be like completely autonomous to actually run your application without any third-party services.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the bigger vision. That's why we wanted to implement a Cardano node, and we were part of this node diversity initiative, and attended multiple workshops in this regards. And the idea was to have a node implementation inside the framework, so you test against a real node, and you run your application in sovereign mode. So you have your own node. You don't need to connect to Blockfrost or any other third-party services that are a centralization risk, essentially. Answering the question, so starter would be the starting point, and also we have a quite extensive collection of examples in Scalus already implemented. So you can choose whatever your application is closest to one of those examples and just to take it as an inspiration or just copy it, because it's open source, it's free, and you can learn how to do certain things. So we have like 25 probably different small applications built, starting from a simple hash time logged contracts, which I showed you already, ending with complex things like AMM DEX or crowdfunding smart contracts and stuff like that. More serious stuff.
Okay. So having gone through Project Catalyst, could you tell us how that experience has been? How has it shaped your roadmap, and what it has enabled you to do that you couldn't have otherwise?
Yeah, we have multi-year relation with Cardano community. We're really proud to be supported through several rounds of Catalyst and last year treasury withdrawal cycle. And so we were part of Catalyst round 11, where we had 2 projects to build a compiler and then multi-platform.
Yeah, and then another for building the off-chain transaction builder library, which is multi-platform as well. That's what I explained before, that we can export the transaction building logic to JavaScript and use in the UI.
So that created a foundation for like all the main components for the platform. And last year we requested the treasury support to move it forward, to expand it to what we just presented to you, something very well-rounded and that allows you to build end-to-end your application. And I want to mention as well that Intersect is our administrator, and we are really happy collaborating with Intersect in this round.
Exactly. So we're thankful to Cardano community for sponsoring us through these rounds, because of this support we were able to produce this framework. And we successfully delivered all the catalysts, and we are finishing with the funding round as well. So everything is almost completed, and we are very thankful again.
For the support.
Okay, so what would you say is your long-term strategy for ensuring continual sustainability of the project and your products?
One of the things that comes in line with the building the solutions of this complexity and completeness is the maintenance costs, and usual path. So it's an open source solution. So we invite other contributors to participate and be a part of the story. We have more than 10 external contributors committing the changes to Scalus. But our long-term strategy for maintenance is to actually partner with the products and teams who are building successful products with Scalus, so that we can maybe have some kind of sponsorship arrangements with them, or kind of paid support or premium support offers, or maybe paid engagements with those companies, so that it could partially support the maintenance costs of Scalus. Our idea that over time, more applications are built with Scalus, more it will become independent from treasury money. But for now, until the time we're progressing the development, we still use this vehicle to get the support.
Okay. I want to ask, for someone who wants to start contributing, what does a good first contribution look like, and where does the project most need help right now?
So you can find the contribution guide in repository of Scalus. We are mainly looking into expanding our off-chain capabilities right now. So what happens, the teams who are building the Scalus, they find various extensions that they're missing. So when they're doing this, they either come to us and request development of those things, and we always keep in our roadmap some space for supporting the adoption, because like we can build the best tool possible, but if adoption is struggling, it will not be successful. It's a successful tool. So we're always prioritizing the development of the features that are needed for the adoption. For example, we moved implementation of ledger rules like 3 months upfront, because one of the teams needed it for their day-to-day.
There's also a team needed
yes,
rules implementation for all 2 years.
And all themselves, they can contribute the missing element. So the areas where we're looking for support is implementation of different providers for transaction transaction submission services. We have a block frost integration, but we will be expanding other providers. Also, we would like to have a bit more examples, and so yeah, contact us if you would like to be a part of the journey. Contact us, and we will see how we can share some work and how we can guide you.
Okay. What do you sorry? What's that one thing in your roadmap that you're most excited about, and why?
You want to speak about it, or?
Both. I can start with yeah. So, well, essentially, we were very excited about our quite ambitious proposal, because we want to extend Scalus to this application platform. Essentially, it's not only development platform, it's the application platform that you run your application with. So we want to extend it to have a capabilities of listening to blockchain events and acting on stream of blockchain events. So you can have like handlers on this type of transaction. I run this sort of logic, produce this sort of transactions. So there's going to be it's persistent, so you don't need to worry about restarts and etc. And ideally, it should have been sovereign, so you're talking to your node and you're listening to your events from a trusted source you trust, essentially. Mm-hmm. So these are the magnitude and like goals for us that we are excited about.
Yeah, I can speak about myself. Like this
Mhm.
year, since the development of gummy worm is progressing super fast, and it's a very promising L2 solution. We want to make sure, and it's built on Scalus. What we would like to do is to create this application framework capabilities in our platform that would allow in 2 seconds actually scale your application into using L2. So for me, the most exciting thing this year is building an application platform that will enable somebody who would like to build, for example, a prediction market or perpetuals, and they cannot use L1 for this sake. They could easily spin L2 and have the application running on production
Exactly, yes.
in minutes. So this is the thing that I would like to have happening this year.
Okay. Very, very interesting and exciting. Is there anything about Scalus you guys think the Cardano community consistently underestimates or gets wrong?
I think
I
one thing
think-
that we already mentioned, I'm sorry, like Alex,
Yeah.
is this, they think that Scalus is just a smart contract language.
Yeah.
And I think the conversation that we had with you, Harun, was in this zone as well. So
Yeah.
this is something that we're trying to address by doing community sessions. We're actively participating in Cardano development hours. We came to intersect development experience session, but we also ask people who learn about Scalus as well, spread the word, share our messages, our post on X, our achievements of milestones, of catalyst, so that more people will know that these tools exist in Cardano. It's actively developed, actively supported, and we are very responsive to the needs of developers. So if developers need something and it's missing in our platform, we will be really eager to make it happen. So I think this is the one of misconceptions that makes me feel at times in pain.
Another 2
about
points I wanted to mention is that, as Alexei mentioned, Scalus is not only smart contract platform, and we actually don't require you to write smart contracts in Scalus. You have like better support for debugging, for measuring the budgets in any cases. Anyways, but we still can just load smart contracts written in Aiken or any other smart contract. We support Blueprint standard, so you can just use it for off-chain and application easily. And we have projects that do it. Bifrost parts of smart contracts are written in Aiken, and we just load them, and it works totally fine. And we can reuse all our testing infrastructure and emulator and everything just to thoroughly test these things. It's one thing.
At times, teams just turn to Scalus to get all those capabilities, actually. So, for example,
Exactly.
If you know Fallen Icarus, he's
Yes, I do.
DeFi kernel. He is actively participating in our Scalus club, and at some point he said, like, yeah, I have this protocol already written in Aiken, but I'm trying to get it tested, and it's just a nightmare. It takes me so long, like tests, I don't know, like. So we bootstrapped him, and he was able to write it. He doesn't know, he's not even a developer, actually.
Yeah, he learned Scala and uses
Scala and uses it for testing of his
He
protocol.
wrote hundreds of tests for his protocol using Scalus to build in transactions. So we do this thing. Our test framework allows you to build to test your protocol with transactions rather than just coding like a validator. So you can build a real transaction and use the transaction to. Yes.
Would it be possible for you guys to join us for like a one developer experience working group session and maybe show us how, let's say, if I'm writing, if I have something in Aiken, a simple contract in Aiken, I would be able to test it using
Of
Scalus?
course, it would be a pleasure. Of course. Yeah. So
Okay.
Rusty is using it just to write tests. He's not even writing applications, just for testing. It's good too.
Another thing we didn't have a chance to speak about, like maybe
Okay.
we,
Yeah. Actually, the next thing I wanted to ask you is like, if there's anything else you guys feel like you need to share, go ahead.
Yeah, it's this thing. So it's not only about writing the test. It's actually since you're using the real transactions. So the capability that you have is that you always need like write smart contract, but you also need to write the transactions. So you're building transaction and use it as a tool of testing. So you like really hardening your transaction set. You're verifying that transactions are actually working. And since we are using transactions, you need as well the environment where you can actually deploy smart contracts and then use this transaction and verify that it's not only a smart contract that is executed, but also like the ledger rules are executed, the things are spent, and everything is working very well. So the usual approach to do that is to run the development network, right? So you can have Yassi DevKit, or you have Dolos that you can spin, but this is a real node. I mean, like physical node that is running. And we had the conversation with I think we had Razor team as well. They said that at some project they had I think a couple of thousand tests written, and they had a Haskell node running as a development environment, and they said like they were doing it like maybe like I don't know, from 5 to 12 minutes the execution round of the tests. And
No, I think it's long. It's hours.
Longer.
We were talking about
hours.
hours.
I took it conservatively, and so this is a regular problem. Imagine you need to write a battery of tests against your complex protocol. Imagine Midgard or imagine Hydrazone. So you want it to be secure, and but it takes so much time. So this is an alternative, and we have a development network as well, like integrated as a part of Scalus. But what we've done as well, we implemented the ledger rules, and we have an emulator of the Cardano node. So basically, it's a Cardano node. It has all the ledger
emulator,
but without consensus and stuff. So you basically run it in memory, and you run thousands of tests in seconds. And it's the same level of security as your Cardano, because it's the same ledger rules, which are as well very validated against the conformance tests. So what gives you this kind of real TDD experience, where you write in your smart contract, having tests, you spinning it, it's very fast. You get like microseconds. The feedback loop is very, very fast. So you actually do not have this kind of lingering feeling of like it's slow. It's very fast. Okay, and what
the coolest.
Yeah.
The coolest thing with this approach, so you write your test. Essentially, it's a unit test that constructs a transaction and runs it against an emulator, and we allow it to just one change of an environment variable. You can change against which environment you run this test. So you can choose between emulator and Yassi DevKit and production testnet, like pre-prod or preview testnet. So you just change the environment variable and you run tests like in milliseconds, or against the real node in seconds, or against a pre-prod in minutes or hours. The same test. So you don't need like separate batteries of tests.
Yeah, and I thought you would be speaking about this, but I wanted to say another cool feature about this in-memory emulator. It's not only available for JVM, we also export it to JavaScript, and Mesh.js already integrates it. So you can have in Mesh.js, when we are building transaction, you want to test it against your emulator, you can do. And we're right now in integration with Evolution SDK. And then we can look into as well Lucid Evolution, because this is like very important capability, and we are really happy and proud that we could, because we are in JVM ecosystem, but we're also very happy that we can support other ecosystems like JavaScript to improve their development experience through this type of tooling. So this is the cool thing that we didn't speak about, but I think it's worth mentioning, because it's like if your daily work is to build smart contracts and protocols, you really want it to be fast and productive. And in the age of AI, we do not speak about it either. Imagine your AI takes you a couple of seconds to produce the result, and then you spend minutes in order to test them. It's
good point. Two things I wanted to add. One is the AI thing is that we're working on. We use a like special file describing Scalus APIs for AIs, like LLM TXT. So our Cloud Code writes almost perfect smart contracts using Scalus and transactions using Scalus. If you set it up and give him this information, it works very well. And Scala has millions lines of open source code, so all LLMs produce very, very high quality Scala code. And third thing is that what I believe many people on Cardano not realize is how huge the JVM ecosystem, how huge it is. It's like the number one or number two programming language in the world.
When I used to be, my background is in Java development, actually.
Oh.
So yeah, when I was building Android apps in Java, I remember that was about 6-7 years ago. There were 3 billion devices using Java. So
it's enormous.
It's huge.
Yeah, and like the Web3, this new thing is like niche a bit. It's not yet opened, I think, to this mainstream JVM world, and we are trying to connect those.
Okay. This is very, very interesting. I'll definitely be diving more into Scalus as a developer, of course. I'm so very happy to have you guys. Thank you so much for making.
Thank you for inviting
to come and tell us about your amazing project. I will be linking some of the links to your repository and your resources to this video, so that anyone can just click and be able to follow along. So we've run out of time, unless there's anything you guys would like to add.
No. Thank you very much for having it. We hope to see more developers coming to Scalus and support our Treasury proposal this year, which we'll resubmit beginning of next week, to get the application framework with seamless L2 integration there.
Okay. I think there's one more question I might have forgotten.
Okay.
Do you guys have an MCP?
No, not right now. We actually use MCP for Scala. There is MCP for Scala. It works out of the box in the Visual Studio Code, and it's usually enough. And we will provide a few other helpful integrations with AI, explaining Scalus API to we have Scalus skill. It's now a repo, so if you just connect it to our skill, it has a lot of interesting capabilities, like vulnerability search in smart contracts. add performance optimizations of smart contracts in Scalus. So that we have, and we will also develop more integrations out of the box with LLMs.
Okay, I think that was my final and last question. You guys are doing an amazing job, and I'm very happy to have had this interview, because I do think it's also going to shape a bit of my development journey.
Ah, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
See you.
See ya.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye.